So, if you're a law student, you've definitely heard the advice. Get published. People say it's a total game changer for your LLM applications, for your whole career, really. But here's the thing, nobody ever actually gives you the playbook, right? Well, that is about to change. We're going to unlock a clear, step-by-step strategy to get your work into those prestigious Scopus-indexed law journals without any of the usual jargon or guesswork.
And that right there is the key. This isn't just some boring academic exercise. Publishing is a seriously powerful way to build your career and set yourself apart long before you even graduate. It's you signaling to the world that you're a serious thinker, that you can actually contribute to the legal conversation. But man, trying to get there can feel like walking through a minefield. You've probably heard that super vague advice to just write well. I mean, what does that even mean? There's no class for this, there's endless confusion about which journals actually matter, and you can waste so many hours formatting a paper just to find out the journal isn't even active anymore. It's a really frustrating process, but we're about to make it a whole lot clearer.
Okay, first things first. Let's really get into why this matters so much. Because we're talking about more than just another line on your resume. A real publication is solid proof of your expertise. It's a major signal to LLM admissions committees and future employers that you are a serious player.
And here's the first big mindset shift you need to make. Stop thinking you have to write the next great legal masterpiece. The secret isn't just about how good your paper is, it's about alignment. Success comes from finding the right key for the right lock. It's all about matching your specific research to a journal's specific vision.
And that leads us perfectly into our next section, strategy. We're going to dive into the art of picking the perfect journal for your work. You know, this is where most students get it wrong, but is exactly where you can get a huge advantage.
Here's a 4-step process to nail it. 1. Start with your paper, not the journal. What's your topic? What's your methodology? 2. Go to the journal's website and really dig into their aims and scope section. If it's not a great match, just move on. 3. Read their last few issues. This gives you a real feel for their style and, crucially, tells you if they even publish student authors. And finally, number 4, always verify its Scopus status. Just because a journal was indexed a few years ago doesn't mean it still is. Now, you're basically going to run into 2 types of journals. You've got your faculty-reviewed ones like the Jindal Global Law Review. These have more prestige, but they're way tougher to get into, and the review process can take forever. On the flip side, you have student-edited journals like the Indian Journal of Law and Technology. These are often much more open to student work, which can be a fantastic way to get your foot in the door.
All right, a really important warning here about predatory journals. If you see any of these red flags, like they ask for money up front, they guarantee publication, or they don't even have an editorial board listed, run. Just run the other way. Publishing in one of these will actually hurt your credibility. Seriously, don't fall for the trap.
Okay, so you've picked your target journal. Awesome. Now, let's talk about the paper itself. We're shifting from strategy to execution. How to write something that an editor literally can't ignore.
Your title is everything. It is your first impression. I mean, just look at the difference here. Artificial intelligence in law, it's so vague. It's just going to get lost in the shuffle. But governing algorithms, that's specific, it's academic, and it signals a really clear, powerful argument. It immediately tells the editor exactly why they need to keep reading.
Every great paper is built on a solid foundation, what I like to call a golden skeleton, like this one. Just think of it as your roadmap. You start with that strong title, a killer abstract, and you follow it all the way down to perfect references. If you follow this structure, your paper will immediately look professional and polished.
Stuck on what to write about? Well, being topical is your secret weapon. This chart shows you where the action is right now. You can see tech, law, and AI are just dominating the conversation, taking up a huge slice. But don't sleep on climate law and ESG either. Focusing on these hot topics can dramatically increase your chances, because editors are actively looking for fresh takes in these areas.
All right, you've written the paper. Now we're at the crucial last mile, the submission. This is where so many students drop the ball with tiny, completely avoidable mistakes.
This is a huge one. Your cover letter needs a totally different mindset. It is not an internship application. You've got to drop the "I'm humbly submitting" language. You are not an intern asking for a chance. You are a researcher making a confident, professional academic pitch. You've got to own it.
A great cover letter is short and sharp. That's it. It introduces you and your paper's title, Then in just 1 or 2 sentences, it explains why your work is a perfect fit for their specific journal. It confirms the work is original, and then you sign off. Keep it around 200 words. That's all you need to make a really strong first impression.
Before you even think about hitting send, you have to run through this final checklist. Is the file format right? Is your citation style, which is usually Oscola, absolutely perfect? Did you run a plagiarism check? Is the similarity index under 15%? Is your author declaration in there? And please, for the love of all that is holy, give your file a clean name. Final_edit.docs just screams amateur.
Okay, deep breath. You've clicked send. So, what happens now? Let's talk about the waiting game and how to deal with the inevitable reality of rejection.
You know, most rejections, especially the ones that come back fast, aren't about the quality of your ideas at all. They're about simple, fixable mistakes. The #1 reason by far is poor fit. You know, sending a tech law paper to a family law journal. #2 is formatting errors. You just didn't follow their guidelines. And #3 is a weak abstract that just failed to sell your paper's main point.
And this right here might be the most important thing to remember. Rejection is a totally normal part of this process. It does not mean your work is bad. All it is feedback. It might mean your paper is a better fit for a different journal, or that it just needs one more round of polish. You have to see it as a chance to refine your work and redirect your efforts.
So please, don't let the fear of rejection stop you. Every single published academic you admire has a whole stack of rejection letters. They just didn't let that be the end of the story. So think of it this way. Rejection is just redirection. You now have the playbook. You know the strategy, you know the structure, you know the common mistakes to avoid. The only thing left to do is start. So I'll leave you with this. What's the question your first publication is going to answer?